I expect you've heard about the world-famous Crater of Diamonds State Park. It's the only place in the world that's open to the public where you can go, pay a small fee, search for diamonds, and keep the diamonds you find. I've found 178 diamonds there so far, and 2 of them weighed over 2 carats each. But are you also aware there are other diamond-bearing lamproite pipes within 5 miles of the Crater of Diamonds? That's what I want to talk about today. They're not open to the public. They're privately owned. A couple of them are up for sale, and I'll tell you about them in case you're interested. But I'm all about the maps. 25 years ago, my wife Cindy and I started MAP, Mid-America Prospecting. And here on this map is Murfreesboro. Here's the Crater of Diamonds State Park. Twin Knobs 1, Diamondiferous Intrusion. Twin Knobs 2, Black Lick, the American North, the Kimberlite, and the Timberlands. In this video, if you'll stick with me, we're going to look at the maps, find out where these others are at, and then if you'll join me on future videos, I'm going to take you to Twin Knobs 1, Twin Knobs 2, Black Lick, the American Mine, the American North, and the Timberlands. I might hike all the way back in there to the Kimberlite Mine. I've been there. I worked in diamond exploration outside the state park for 3 years. And we didn't just explore, but we also did diamond recovery. And there was a multi-million-dollar, state-of-the-art diamond recovery plant set up right there at the American Mine and by the American North, or North American Mine. It's on that site. And if you'll watch, I've got a video of when that plant was in operation. I also made a video of what the place looks like now that the plant has been disassembled and shipped up to Canada. So that diamond recovery plant's not there anymore. But I want to take you to the maps and look and study why there's diamonds here, what went on, and then I'll tell you about the different intrusions, and this will be fun, taking a look at the maps. So let me move this just a little so you'll have a front row seat at what these maps look like. Get you zeroed in on it. And we'll go through these. So what you're looking at right now is a map of the state of Arkansas. And it's separated in regions. And the Crater of Diamonds State Park is in Pike County, and this is Pike County, and we're in southwestern Pike County. The Crater of Diamonds is just below the line of the Washita Mountains. Oh, that looks like Washita or something, but it's pronounced Washita Mountains. Right between the Washita Mountains, and we're actually in the West Gulf Coastal Plain, but the Crater of Diamonds is right here. And why is this line significant? Well, it involves plate tectonics, and I want to tell you what has happened here and why there's diamonds here. First, we'll look at some satellite maps. Just north, well, the Crater of Diamonds is right here where this arrow is, and just north is Lake Greeson. It's 12 miles long, and you can see it spreads out to the side as well. That's because the ground is folded. Kind of like when you take your windshield cover, if you put one up, keep the hot sun off your dash and windshield and steering wheel, how it folds out. Well, the ground has been folded there because continental plates pushed together during the continental drift eons ago. And it also folded these mountains as well to the north. These are the Washita Mountains. To get your bearings here, okay, this is Lake Greeson, just 10 miles north of Murfreesboro and about 12 miles north of the Crater of Diamonds. This is DeGray Lake, and there's also another state park at DeGray. And this is Lake Hamilton, which that is Hot Springs. The city of Hot Springs is built all around Lake Hamilton. And you can see just a little bit of the tail of Lake Washita, which is to the north. And Lake Washita also has a state park up there, but it's a huge lake, but it's off the satellite map. Let's go on and look at another satellite photo. And we're a little closer here. You can see Lake Greeson and you can see this folding that goes north, but there's also folding of the earth here, a buckling, tipping up. These are really high mountains. These are just much higher. But this, something drastic has really gone on here. If you're familiar with the area, to give you your bearings, this is Dirks Lake. And okay, we're in Pike County, Arkansas here at Lake Greeson. And then there's Howard County. And then right on the boundary line between Howard County and Sevier County is Dirks Lake. But let's go on, move in a little closer on the area we're interested in. Again, the Crater of Diamonds State Park is right here, 911 acres. And here is intense folding just north of us at Lake Greeson. You can see how it's buckled up. If you watched my videos about the Cinnabar mine, it is located right up here on Lake Greeson. It's because of this folding. That's why the Cinnabar is there and accessible. The once flat-lying ground buckled up when continents collided here. And that's what this is showing. This is a picture right out of my book. Yeah, I'm the guy who literally wrote the book on diamonds in Arkansas. I'm 6 foot tall, holding a 4 foot level, and I'm holding it perfectly level. And you can see these rocks are not lined up with that level. They've been tipped up on edge. What tipped them up like that? Well, continents collided here and caused it to buckle. And Africa used to be adjoined to what's now Arkansas. So this eons ago shifted in, and as it pushed against this, it buckled the land up right there and caused the Washita Mountains. In fact, the Washita Mountains and the Appalachian Mountains kind of used to be one huge, long, connected mountain range. But after these pulled apart, after Africa receded and went back to where we know it as right now, it left a weakness in the earth right there. So it pushed together and then it pulled apart. And that pulling apart caused a deep rip in the crust. And that allowed later volcanic activity, earthquake first, a little earthquake shifting along this weak point. And the earthquake allowed volcanic material to come from more than 100 miles deep and bring diamonds with it. Let's go on to the next one, and it shows it again. See how the Appalachian Mountains were actually once tied to the Washita Mountains, but you don't recognize it because it's been washed away. You know, if you remember the first picture we had of the Arkansas map, this was the Mississippi Valley, and this was all flat in here, and we had mountains here. Well, it's because all that water washed out all these mountains that used to be here, and that's what made all this land down here was the washing of all this sediment, all these mountains being washed down and built up this land. But once, this was Gulf of Mexico beachfront property right here at the Crater of Diamonds. So just to give you a little idea of what went on and what caused some of this, geology, this is another picture from a different geologist report about what went on. But this is the Washita Mountains, and the Crater of Diamonds is right here, right where all this activity went on, all this pushing together and pulling back apart. And then this is a topographical map, and it shows also we're right here, just below all this folding. These mountains are the Boston Mountains. These are Washita Mountains. This is a different river valley, Arkansas River Valley, and this is the Mississippi River Valley. See how flat that is because it's all been washed out. Well, this has been washed out too. But these mountains, the Boston Mountains it's called, are not buckled like this. These are still flat lying, but they are higher than the other because they've been lifted. Just like you take your car to get an oil change and they lift it up. Well, these mountains were here by uplift, not by buckling like this. Just to give you a little idea what happened in Arkansas way before any of us were here. But now let's look closer at Pike County and what we're interested in. And this is what you're familiar with as the Crater of Diamond State Park. So here's the Little Missouri River. This map was done in 1926. And this is Prairie Creek. And a lot of times what we know as the Crater of Diamond State Park, see, it wasn't called that at the time. It was called the Prairie Creek Intrusion because it was right here by Prairie Creek, a volcanic intrusion. So most of it was owned by the Arkansas Diamond Mine Corporation. But the Moonies owned part of this, and the Ozark Mine was on part of this, and the Millars got later got involved in it. But the Millars started out up here at that time. They were familiar. This was the big one, and it was near the water. And this was the one that was being processed at the time, what we know as the Crater of Diamond State Park. But there was another known intrusion up here called the Kimberlite, although it's actually Lamproite. Nobody knew it at the time, and there's a very small distinction between the two. But anyway, the Kimberlite mine laid up here, and the Millars came to town and were mining it, but there was no water, very remote access to get up there. It was very difficult. Later they abandoned that when one of the owners, well, the owner of the Ozark mine suddenly died of a heart attack. Then the Millars had an opportunity to move in and mine here in association with the Moonies, and they hauled everything by a tram train over to a processing plant right here by Prairie Creek because there was plenty of water. So also, this is the American mine, and this is called Black Lick. It was called that because the soil there was black because of the lamproite that had decayed there over the years. And deer like to go and lick the minerals there, so it was called Black Lick. The soil was also black here, black and gravel, because it had, the lamproite had decayed over the years and left a concentration of minerals on the top that the deer liked, the manganese and iron, and they needed it in their system. So they went and they licked the soil there. So at this time, in 1926, the only known lamproite, well, they called it Kimberlite, was here at the Crater of Diamonds, about 79 acres. Only about 40 acres of it is diamondiferous. So about half had diamonds and half was a hard peridotite that couldn't be processed even if there was diamonds in it, but it's not. And that part I'm talking about is East Hill, Middle Hill, and West Hill. So Black Lick was owned by a lumber company, but prospectors went up there and started finding diamonds, tried to make a claim on it. Well, they couldn't make a claim on somebody else's land. You have to buy the land. Well, anyway, there were lawsuits and they were kicked off, so really nothing was done there at Black Lick but a little early prospecting. And the American mine was owned by a family who still owns the American mine today, and they have leased it out over the years to different ones, and that's where the diamond recovery plant was that I worked at for 3 years. And the Kimberlite sits off in the woods. Not much has been done there since the Millars left 100 years ago. They left in about 1914, I believe, and started focusing on this other plant down here. But let's move on because there are other pipes. It's just in 1926 they only knew about those lamproite pipes. Since then, they discovered this. Okay, here's the Crater of Diamonds, all right? 79, 80 acres, something like that. East Hill, Middle Hill, and West Hill. So here, the search territory, present-day search territory, is right here. Well, it's 37 acres. And if you look at this, this looks to be about 21 acres. I had a friend take this to a guy with a computer assisted design CAD system and laid it out and figured the acreage was 21 acres here. It's kind of a mitten shaped, and I call the Crater of Diamond search field kind of a bunny rabbit shape. Well, this is a mitten, and we'll talk more about TK1 or Twin Knobs 1. It's also called the Riley Farm because it's been in the Riley family. John Huddleston found the first diamonds in August of 1906. The Rileys bought 80 acres here in 1907, and it's been in the family ever since. This is called Twin Knobs 2 because it's another intrusion. These are the twin knobs. There's a hill here and a hill here. Knobs, there's two of them, twin knobs. Well, the Lamproite intrusion is on this side of the knob. So the northwest side of the northern knob is where Twin Knobs 2 or TK2 is. So here, another map. I'm all about the maps, Mid-America Prospecting. We've got the Crater of Diamonds State Park. Actually, the state park is 911 acres. See this dotted line? That is state park property, 911 acres. But this is the Lamproite here, but only half of it is diamondiferous, about 37 acres. Now this, the shape isn't quite right. Actually, it's more of a mitten shape. But anyway, it's about 21 acres. This is way out of proportion. It's not nearly that big in reality. It's only 3 acres probably, Twin Knobs 1. Black Lick, you'll see it's now connected. Well, we realized through ground magnetic surveys that what they once knew as Black Lick here is connected underground. It's one huge intrusion. It goes all the way. This is the American mine, and this is called the American North or the North American mine. This doesn't make a distinction, but the two are on the same people's property that, like I say, have had it for more than 120 years. And then this is the Kimberlite mine, and it's really not quite that big. This is the Timberlands, and it's much smaller than this. It's only 3 acres. We did a ground magnetic survey there and found out. But the Timberlands was the last one to be discovered, and it was discovered by aeromagnetic surveys. In other words, flying over the land in an airplane. And that's what this is. If you look at these lines here, this is an airplane with a GPS flying across, and he flew across here taking magnetic readings. Well, this is the Crater of Diamonds State Park. And this is not a topographical map. This is not like where one of the hills is. This shows a magnetic high and a magnetic low. And where you have magnetic highs and lows together, well, that's your intrusion. So this big blob is Crater of Diamonds State Park, and this here, this is Twin Knobs 1 or the Riley Farm, and this is just a bridge. So it's nothing, but it did have a magnetic signature because of the metal in the bridge. So the Crater of Diamonds is over here. This is the bridge I was telling you about. And there was a building there. So anyway, this is called culture, and it's just man-made stuff. But this is actual Twin Knobs 1, TK1 they call it, the Twin Knobs 1 diamondiferous intrusion, and here's Twin Knobs 2. It's not nearly as hot magnetically as TK1. But pretty cool. This picture is very expensive. The diamond exploration company I worked for, Texas Star Resources, also known Diamond Exploration Incorporated, paid a lot of money to have an airplane fly over the area and take magnetic readings. This is a bigger picture of the area. So this is the Crater of Diamonds State Park, the hot and the cold of the magnetic signature. This is Twin Knobs 1. This is Black Lick way over here. And the Timberlands is right here. And they don't have the American North and the Kimberlite on this map. They didn't fly over. I guess they knew where it was and didn't really care to spend the money. So here again is the map. East Hill, Middle Hill, West Hill at Crater of Diamonds. And here's the diamond search territory. And this is Twin Knobs 1 and Twin Knobs 2. Twin Knobs 1 is for sale. This is 10 acres. This square is 10 acres. This square is 40 acres. See, it's 4 10-acre plots together. And part of it, the mitten, the thumb of the mitten comes over on this property. So this 4 1/3 acres, this 5 acres is also for sale. And this 10 acres was just recently added to the offering, and it's not blue. But anyway, if you're interested, you could purchase all of this land. So 40, 50, 60, 70, almost 80 acres, 79.33 acres for about $2.5 million. So if you're serious, you could contact me by email, and this is my email address, USA Diamonds, USA Diamond plural, USA Diamonds at yahoo.com. So if you're interested, I could give you more information about this purchase. Now, the Kimberlite mine is not for sale. The Timberlands is not for sale. The American mine is not for sale. American North is not for sale. But Twin Knobs 1 and Twin Knobs 2 really isn't for sale. Twin Knobs 1 is for sale for the first time since the Riley family bought this in 1907. It is for sale for a price. So this is flying over Black Lick, and this is right after we did the excavation. A geologist, Dr. Dennis Dunn from Austin, Texas. He's a professor down there. He flew up in his airplane and took me up and flew over, and I took a video flying over the crater, and we flew over Black Lick shortly after it was excavated, because you can see it's not very full of water. It's got some water in it, but this was a huge excavation. Over $750,000 hole in the ground. But anyhow, the company I work for spent a lot of money on that. Now here's Black Lick again, and this is a satellite photo off of Google. This is Black Lick, and then up the road here, this is the entrance to the diamond recovery plant where I worked. This was our settling pond and where we got water for the plant, and the plant sat here. This is a closer look. Our settling pond. Here is our plant. We had ore bins. These were like concrete, almost like basements, but this side was open. You could back a dump truck in there and dump the ore in there, and then later you could go in with a front end loader and scoop the ore up. Here's another storage bin. So we had 3 huge storage bins, and we would scoop the material up and then feed it into the plant right here. There was a monitor gun where we washed it down into a grizzly, and then there was a 30-foot seawall they had built here. In other words, this is like a cliff that drops off 30 feet, and the diamond recovery plant sat in here, and everything was gravity fed then. And I've got a video. If you'll keep checking back to my Genuine Diamonds in AR YouTube channel, I'll show you a video of how the plant worked. So again, here's the crater of diamonds. Twin Knobs 1. Twin Knobs 2, Black Lick, the American North, the Kimberlite, and the Timberlands. And I have videos of all these coming up. But right now, let's do something fun and go to Google Earth. This is so cool. It's Google Earth Pro. And if you are familiar with what you're looking at, this is a Crater of Diamond State Park, okay? It's huge. All this wooded area is 911-acre Crater of Diamond State Park. But right here, this bunny rabbit, Easter bunny shaped thing, is the present day diamond search territory. And let's move in on it a little bit and just get your bearings. So the iconic old mine shaft building is right here. There's a new shade pavilion has been built here. This is a new photo. This was taken November 11th, 2019. So it's showing this is a new shade pavilion that was built, another new shade pavilion, another new shade pavilion. This is the North Wash Pavilion and the South Wash Pavilion. Here's the Diamond Discovery Center and the Water Park, and this is the Visitor Center, and this is the parking lot. And they must have taken this late in the day because of the shadows and because there's hardly anybody in the parking lot. But something really cool about Google Pro. See this? This is 2019 photo. We can go back in time. So hop in my time machine with me. And this is what the crater of diamonds looked like in January of 1994. So you don't have all those shade islands. See, they were built just in 2018 and 2019. You didn't have a Diamond Discovery Center either. You had the visitor center and the parking lot, but no Diamond Discovery Center and no water play area. So it's pretty cool to step back in time, and then we can progress and see changes to the diamond search field and to the everything that's available. This is 2006, and you do have the Diamond Discovery Center now and the water park as well. And then we just move ahead in time to April of 2012. This is November 2014. And then we're back to present day, or last November, which is pretty current. But let's go explore outside the state park. So it's just a short fly over here. And this is that 10 acres that was just added to Twin Knobs 1. Look how close we are. This is like a half mile. When I am standing here, I can hear them announce at 3:45. The diamond search field closes in 15 minutes or whatever, you know. You can hear them talking over the loudspeaker from the Crater of Diamonds when you're standing here. So it's that close. It's just through the woods. But as you drive, it's a ways around. But I won't tell you how to get there, but anyway, this is the Twin Knobs. This 10 acres, this 10 acres, this 10 acres, this 40 acres, and this other acreage is all being offered for sale. Now, while we're here, let's go back in time just a little bit too. Not all the way back, but look, that 10 acres used to be wooded, but it's recently been cleared off. But see, just recently it was clear cut and all those trees were taken out. So we'll move on over and move in to take a look at Twin Knobs 2. And it says Kaolin Peak because Kaolin Clay is on there, and I'll explain all that when I go up there. I plan on going up tomorrow. I just got permission this morning to go up there and film a YouTube video, and I'll hike to the top of that peak. I'll tell you what kaolin is, and we'll also talk about Twin Knobs 2 Lamproite intrusion while I'm there. So I'll take you to all of these. Now this is private property and you can't be going up there. Let the video suffice for your trip. Now here's Black Lick. This is a northeast trending right along the deep rip in the earth caused by the plate tectonics, by the continents colliding and then pulling back away. So here's Black Lick today. It's a big lake. The road used to go through here, and we did a ground magnetic survey and a drill program, and we figured out, the geologist said X marks the spot, this is the best place for it. Well, it was right next to the road, so we had to build a new road around it before we could dig this hole. So there was a lot of expense involved, but let's go back in time and see what happened at Black Lick. This is when the road used to go straight through there, and there was no hole. It was just a hill. It was just the woods, and still just tree plantation there. And that's when we dug the hole in 2001, and that is a huge Black Lick Lake now with the bypass road going around it, and the tailings were pushed off to this side. In other words, everything scooped out of there then was pushed over the hill. So this is a big pile of all this overburden because they wanted to get down and do a deep hole. So anyway, pretty fascinating stuff, at least to me, and I appreciate you taking a look with me. And then down the road, so the mine was here, and this is the gate to the diamond recovery plant where I worked. And we had the material hauled down here, and everybody remembers where they were on September 11th, 2001 when the planes were crashed into the Twin Towers in New York City. Well, this is where I was. We were excavating the American mine and taking the material up to the diamond recovery plant and washing through it. So here's the diamond recovery plant, and like I say, I've got a video of what that looks like when it was in operation and a video of what it looks like now. It's not marked on the map, but this is a Kimberlite mine. It's off in the woods. I may or may not go and do a video of it. It's a long hike out in the woods, and then the timberlands is over here, and I will take you there in a video. But anyhow, now you know there are other diamond intrusions. They're all behind locked gates. You cannot get there. I won't even show you the road how to get there, because you just there's no point even trying. Let the video suffice. But anyhow, we've got the Crater Diamond State Park, Twin Knobs 1, Twin Knobs 2, Black Lick, the American North, Kimberlite, and the Timberlands. Well, thanks for joining me, and please watch our other videos, and I enjoyed sharing this inside information with you today.